Hello, my dear friends. So it's my project People to People. So I ask you, please write to me while you're joining. Write to me if you can hear me, if you can see. I will be very thankful. So how came the idea of People to People? I get a lot of questions from you, and you ask about the supplies, about the styles of drawing, and the idea came to me. So why not to invite different artists, different creators who can share the experience, who have reached something and can tell us a lot of interesting things. So write please if you can hear me. Thank you. And such the project People to People started. So it is just the first series here. I'm a little nervous, so excuse me please. And the first my guest is Chrissie Murphy. I'm going to ask her so we are waiting for you, Chrissie. And oh, Chrissie, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Glad to see you here. So
glad to see you too.
Thank you very much that you agreed to talk to us. And my friends, you can't hear. Once more, please. Can you hear? So just now, please write to us if you can hear us.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe try to correct something on your phone. Okay. So I will tell you a few words about Chrissie. Chrissie Murphy once more. She is an Australian-based artist and certified Zentangle teacher who has a passion for seeing people released into creative freedom. Am I right, Chrissie?
Yes.
So
yes.
So thus I have a question. So when you say that you want to help people to release into creative freedom, so I suppose that one day you came to this conclusion that it is very important, yeah?
Yes,
so
yes, very much so. Sure. So I actually went digging around my things today to be able to find the very, very first piece of art or drawing that I did.
Super.
So we'll rewind back to around 2013 it was, and I was quite ill. I had a mental illness, post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'd been seeing counsellors and getting treatment, that kind of a thing for it. And one of the counsellors recommended that I try to find a hobby or something that I could bring into my life that would give me, enable me to focus on it and just give it my full attention.
And inspire you maybe, to this life.
So I went looking on Pinterest, believe it or not, and the first thing that I saw that caught my eye was a picture that you do with, you place two hands on a piece of paper and you trace around your hand, and then you come back over it and you do curved lines. So I'll show you.
Please.
Yes, okay.
You're welcome.
So can we see my hands in here? Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yes.
See, yeah.
You
so
can
right
see
now,
them.
Friends, can you see? If you can see the hands. So
can you see the hands?
All those wavy lines and the hands among them. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Very interesting.
So that's the very, very first thing that I did, and I noticed, my counsellor was right that as I just focused on that drawing, making line after line after line, my mind really quietened down. I wasn't having racing thoughts, things like that. So I was pretty much converted right on the spot. Being Pinterest and the algorithms that they have, it started showing me other things similar to it that I could try. So the next day I did just some line art like this.
It was your second picture?
This was my second, my second.
Super, okay.
So I just was playing around with it with some coloured pencils, and basically from there, I was hooked. I then discovered Zentangle. Again, Pinterest really that algorithm, you know, because we were doing repetitive line drawing, it was, you know, showing you other things similar to that, so Zentangle art. And the rest really is history. I just loved what I was seeing. I loved doing it. And over time now, so here we are 10 years later, and we talk about being released into creative freedom. So I'm well. I do not have a mental illness anymore. I'm well. And this has been a huge part of that journey. And I find now that after all of this time, here I am in this area of creativity that I just love. And, you know, I really have a heart for other people who are battling and who are, you know, really just going through the grind and struggling through each day, you know, and I want to try to inspire those people into creativity, into tangling, into drawing, into whatever it is that that, you know, you'd like to do, but to really just explore creativity as a way of working your way through those things.
Chrissie, but the authors say that the Zentangle method is not only an art, but a meditation also. So how do you feel?
Yes. So for me, it's just a real quiet time that I can go into, and I can pray, and really just everything else quietens down. And for me, it's just what's happening there on that tile. So it's just a beautiful time of focus and quiet, and I'm able to pray in that time. It's just, it's wonderful. So that's what I really love about it. That it is just something that really quietens down distractions, I guess is the best way to put it. Doing a line after a line and just repeating different strokes. It quietens those distractions and just enables you to really come into a quiet place, which is just really beautiful.
By the way, so I asked my readers, my followers, so why do they draw? So I will ask you, say that you tangle, not draw, but I asked about the drawing, and I've got plenty of answers, and I'm so grateful to my followers because they answered, they shared the impression, and they wrote that they look for the calm. So the feelings that you have just told us, they rest with their soul, they relax, and a lot of them wrote that they pray as you do while drawing. Chrissie,
I think it's you're right, you go. You go.
You decided to become an artist. You didn't stop just drawing, for yourself, putting on the shelf. So I want to say, to tell you one interesting story about the message I have got to tell you and our followers. So one young man sent me a message. So he wrote, so what's the sense of that drawing? So I have made some and put them on the shelf, and there is no reason of them. So, but you decided to become an artist and still drawing. You felt that you need to do the next step. Did you?
Yes. So I quite some time ago, I then sort of moved from working quietly at home to sharing my work. And I think that and when I talk about sharing my work, to me that meant putting it online, putting online mistakes, putting online a piece that you really like, but putting it online. And over time, what that has done is build community, because you find like-minded people who are going through the same things as what you're going through, people who like the same things as what you're doing. And so you find the community of people who are loving exactly what you're doing. So now, where I'm at now in my little journey is still predominantly exactly that, what I've shared. So still predominantly making work, sharing it online, very much being involved in the Zentangle community, and I've got so many friends all over the world now through Zentangle, and it's just beautiful. But there's other little aspects that I do as well. So I've shared with you that I have a Redbubble store. So I've got a few different little designs that I've put on there. Redbubble, if people aren't aware of that, is a website where you're able to submit your own artwork. And Redbubble's a print-on-demand company. So they then will put that onto different types of things, like perhaps a jacket or a cup or a cushion, different things like that. So I've got a few little bits and pieces on Redbubble. And the other thing that I do, or I'm starting to do, I'm still quite new to it and finding my way on that, is teaching. So and that's where I'll ultimately move to. That's why I went through to become a certified Zentangle teacher. So I do want to be able to begin having some classes and things like that. So
do you enjoy your classes?
I do. I
see that you're sharing it all the time.
Yes.
So your results and the results of your students.
I do. We have a look, it's a free class. Anyone can come along on Monday nights where we work on our Tangle indexes. So we're just putting my Tangle index is a big folder full of coin collector sheets. And I put little 2-inch by 2-inch tiles. They're a bijou tile. That's the name of them with Zentangle, but they're very small.
Not 99, no?
No, very small.
Less.
Yep. Small. And just a different pattern, and it's an index. So then, when I'm wanting to do something, I can go to my index and say, oh, I'd like a border pattern here. And I've got an index of them. So each Monday night we gather, we put 7 patterns into our index. So, and it's in an hour. So it's not a long class, it's a short class. But, by the end of last year, we started in July and we finished, and I did the maths. And I think, if I'm right, we had done 92 little tiles for our indexes. So all up.
Tangle index time, it's your project, yeah? It's a yarn one, as I understand. So
yes.
I see that Saba Mehar 3. I love to make Zentangle art. Thank you. So my friends, you can ask questions and Chrissie will answer them. Will eagerly answer them, yeah? Chrissie. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Chrissie, and so one more your project, yeah? It is Magnified Fragments project. Tell us a few words about it.
Oh, that's a very, very, very special project to me. Extremely special project. I started it in July last year, and basically it came about through a time of prayer. I was thinking about Michelangelo, believe it or not, in the Sistine Chapel.
Super.
and then I was also thinking about his statue of David and so many other sculptural pieces that he'd completed. And I was actually saying to the Lord in prayer, what will my life's work be? I'm not going to do a Sistine Chapel and I'm not going to do a statue of David, but what will it be? And it was out of that I started on the Magnified Fragments project. So how it began was in the Zentangle book of Reticular and Fragments, there's 49 square fragments that they share in the book. And I thought it'd be lovely to magnify those fragments, and instead of using them in a repeating manner, we magnify them and use them as a string. So here we are it wasn't July last year, sorry, it was the year before that. So here we are a year and a half later.
The idea came early.
Yeah. We've done all of the fragments in the square fragments from that book, and now we're on our into the triangular fragments. There's I think there's 73 of them, so it's one fragment a week. And I've got a number of other Tangly friends and artists who join in on that. So it's a wonderful, wonderful project. And again, anyone can join.
People enjoy.
Anyone can join. And I share the new fragments each Wednesday night. So that's on my account. So anyone's welcome to join in.
People join your project and share their results with you. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and then I'll share them to my stories. And at the end of each week, what I have been doing now is capturing them all together in a real mosaic, like a class mosaic. And it's just wonderful to see how we all interpret things so differently. It's just a wonderful, very beautiful thing to see.
It's a pleasure when you see that people follow you. You understand that you feel it's not in vain. So you do a useful thing, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Chrissie, tell me please, so if we speak about the art teachers, so then art method is a method of art when you use tangles. So tangles are definite forms, yeah, or definite, how to say, fragment or pattern, and you combine them, yeah?
Yes.
So how can artists become unique or get a unique style if there are how many tangles? 100 of basic tangles, and there are some or many of new teachers, certified teachers, yeah?
Yes.
So how can you get a unique style among those tangles?
I do have an answer for this, Taya, but it's probably not an answer that people want to hear. I was told this very on. I asked the same thing. How do I end up developing my own style as a tangler? And and I asked quite a few people, and the responses was that, if I can sort of paraphrase it, you don't find the style more or less finds you. And I sort of thought, oh, well, I don't want to hear that. I just really want to move into what I'm doing and try to find my own way. Having said that, it really is the truth. I think it might have been about 9 months ago, I shared a bit of a frustration just on Facebook about how I had gotten to a point where everything I create seems to look the same. And now I can't break out of it. And what I realized as I shared that was that what's happened is, over time, and I mean we're talking 9 or 10 years here, so over time my work all looks the same regardless of what I've done, and now there's a style. And so the style has come over time. It's actually not something that I ended up going out and doing. It finds its way. I think style comes through how you treat different elements in your patterns, how you treat your tiles. On Tangle Index time on Monday nights, Taya, I often we'll put a pattern down, and I can't leave it done without doing some rounding, you know. And one of the people that had come along had said to me, you know, I'd said, one day I'm going to break out and I'm not going to do any rounding. And they had said, but that's just so your style, Chrissie. And you sort of, it's just the way that you do things over time. They all build up, and it builds a unique signature of who you are as you work your way through tangling. And I just think it's a time thing. You just have to give it time. It will come, and it will come.
To tell the truth, I see the styles of different teachers. So it seems to me that there is the difference. I just asked you because, so I think that beginners ask, as you have just told me that you asked this question yourself too.
I did.
And others, So, so you have just answered. So my friends, as you see, Chrissie says that you can start and just do the hours, work the hours, and you will find yourself, as in any style, I think, not only Zentangle. Chrissie, you have a question, just let me read it, please. So, salt is mindful art. So seeing everyone's variations of the base fragment is fantastic. Everyone expands them in their own special way. So you have just told us that we can find our style. Chrissie, I want to ask you about how many hours you spend tangling, because a lot of people ask me, how much time a day do you draw? And I know that a lot of people ask you about it. Please.
I do, I spend a fair bit of time tangling, but I think, again, it's something that we need to be mindful of for the reasons why people are drawing and tangling. Zentangling is as we've shared, you know, it's a meditative thing. It's a very focused, quiet time that you have when you're working on your tiles. So I don't think that there should be like you should do this amount of time on that or not do this amount of time. I think it really depends on the person who's doing it and the reasons that they're wanting to actually do that. So for me, so I don't think that there's a set amount of time that people should be doing anything. I think it really is your journey, the way that you are living life and exactly what you want to be able to get out of that time. You know, this is your thing, and I think it's so easy to get caught up in comparisons and, oh, this person does that over there, so I'll try and do that over there. And comparisons are just not a good thing. So all of that is something that I believe quite firmly. I do spend a lot of time tangling. I tangle most days.
It looks like your profession. You feel it.
Yeah, and I think that's where there is a little bit of perhaps a difference to, you know, other people, is that I am trying to move into doing this more permanently. So I do spend quite a bit of time on what I'm doing. And the other thing is that I am looking at other different things. I've shared just before Christmas some portraits and things like that. So I've been exploring other different things at the same time. So,
by the way, you started portraits just not far away, yeah? To work on portraits.
Yeah.
So why portraits? Why faces? From Tangle to faces. How did it happen?
Yes. I'll give you the short answer to that question.
Yes.
After Inktober, most people saw my coat of arms that I worked on in Inktober, and that came about. My father-in-law and I had a conversation about the coat of arms for our family, and I said, "Oh, I'll draw that one day. You know, we'll get together and I'll draw it." And he passed away, and just through life, he never had a chance to see what was done, and I actually really regret that. I came out of Inktober with a list of things that I don't ever want to see happen like that again. And so I started really thinking about what I want to work on as an artist, and making some commitments to getting those things done instead of putting them off. And one of the things right at the top of my hit list was giving portraiture a try. I just wanted to give it a go. I had an idea about how I thought I might be able to do it. And so, yeah, that's where it's sort of come from. It's I just think no one knows what tomorrow is going to bring. We're nothing but you will do.
Okay, I wish you to have good results in your
thank
portraits.
You.
So
thank you.
In your passion, in your new passion. Chrissie, so as I see, so hard times very often push us to something good, to create something good. So I have to go. Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us. Chrissie, one more question. I have read among your last posts, that you decided to follow, to make a challenge to you, your own personal challenge.
Oh, yes, my own personal challenge this year.
About what is it? About the supplies,
Yes.
So we all enjoy the supplies, and we try to have more of that. And we try to get interesting things to art to create, but you decided to stop buying them.
Yes.
So why did you come to this conclusion, and what are the results, if you have some?
Yeah. Now I'll answer that first. That last question first. I don't have results at the moment.
Not yet.
And that's because I have got such a large supply of stuff. Perhaps by the middle of the year, I'll start to really see where this thing's going. But the challenge came out of two places. First off, you know, I've got a set of they're not Winsor and Newtons, Philip Martin watercolor inks. They're spectacular inks, and they've sat in a drawer since the day I bought them. And I sort of opened up a drawer before Christmas, and I saw them again, And this time it was like, what's wrong with you? You know, you just keep buying stuff and then you're not using what you've got. It's just, I felt it was really irresponsible. I just think of people all over the world that don't have or may long for these things. And for me, they've been really easy to come by, and I've become quite reckless in my attitude toward them. So I decided that enough's enough. I want to start looking in and trying to use these things that I've gotten. That's just one thing, but I've got coloured pencil sets, I've got marker sets, you name it, I have got it. And the other thing is that I want to grow creatively this year. You know, I'm really passionate about inspiring people creatively, and for me to continue to be able to do that, I need to grow creatively myself. And I think creativity and resourcefulness grows when we have to think. And for me, that means limiting what I have. So I'm hoping that as the year unfolds and I start running out of things, my trusty Copic markers or something, I can't even bear the thought of my life without my Copic markers. But anyway, let's not go there. But as the year goes on, you know, if my favourite one runs out, then, you know, I'm going to have to think creatively for how I'm going to get around that. And I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about what I may learn, looking at the things that I actually have here. What do they do? What can I get out of them? So I'm really excited about the year. Middle of the year we might come back and you can ask me again how I feel about it. It could feel very different.
I'll
be like, oh no, I need it to be finished.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, but it is our way. When you were looking for your way, when you were looking for your uniqueness, so you were trying or thinking how you can realize your creativity, and you thought maybe this, maybe that. Yeah, and now you understand that you have found your way, and you understand that all that supplies wasn't necessary, but now, not then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. I think timing is important. Timing is a really big thing, and I would stress to those that are watching, you know, I've been working along now in this area for about 10 years, so we're talking a large area of supplies behind me. It's not as if I'm fresh into this and probably contemplating something that's, you know, totally unrealistic. I think there will be times this year where it's going to be challenging, but that's what I'm seeking. I'm really seeking that challenge to work out what I can learn. Yeah, I want to see what these tools can do. Yeah.
From your experience, what could you give an advice to our followers, to the people who are with us? What should they start with? What do they need? What supplies do they need to start?
And I'll come back to Zentangle method here, because it is the best answer for this question. Zentangle method, you need a piece of paper, a black pen, a graphite pencil, and perhaps a paper stump, if you can find one, or a tortillon, to do some blending of your graphite pencil. If you can't find that and you're after something to begin, you use your finger. It will blend. You don't need much, you know. And I would say that's the beauty of Zentangle art, is that you don't need much. What you're able to create from something so simple is just magnificent. So no, you don't need much to begin. And I think that really adds to part of the reason why I am feeling like I am around what I have, because I know at the core with Zentangle art, you don't need a lot of supplies. You really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chrissie, 2 more questions, please. The first one is, show me your favorite tangles, your favorite results, please. Tiles.
Sure.
Tiles.
I've got some for you. I was sort of thinking through, because obviously I only shared the other day my favorite one ever.
The green one.
So yeah, and that's on a reel, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one. I went and grabbed a couple of others that I really loved, and this next one is a piece that I did. I'd come out of what I would call maybe a bit of a dry period. You know, you do have, I guess, dry seasons and really fruitful seasons.
So you get,
and I'd been in a dry
hearts from our viewers.
I'd come out of a really dry season and had come back in with a renewed focus with Tangling, and this is the tile that I created. So it's got a real lot of sentimental sentimental value, that one.
Chrissie, how do you feel your best tiles or your best results? Just because of the time you have spent on it, or because of the result you consider that people can think about it? Or what?
Yeah, I know what you mean. To me, it's about what it symbolises, Taya. It's the pieces that I'm going to show you have got, you know, we're talking about a meditative art form, as well as, you know, exploring tools and techniques and different things. So for me, there's so much that gets put into a piece, and, you know, I'm exploring lots of things as I'm working my way through them. So it's not always about what we see or the end product, and it's a lot about the process for me, different things that go in there. This is another one. So I don't know if I might hold it up like this if we can see. I don't know. Can you see the dimension on that?
I think I can.
This was a piece that didn't work, and I cut it up and I glued it down onto another one and tangled around it. And I just love that I was able to give another tile a piece of renewed piece of life. So that's a bit of a fave. I had a reel on this one a while ago. This was created with a spirograph.
It's a smaller,
so much fun. It's smaller. I do have a reel on
like
my,
a diamond in the
that was created with a spirograph tool, which is a tool I used to use when I was a child. This one here is really old, but it's a favorite tile from when we did gems, or first started with gems years and years and years ago.
Very beautiful.
The other ones are bigger pieces. So obviously my portraits. That's my daughter.
So your daughter. I remember.
That's my daughter.
Super.
And this is my husband.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Super.
It's my husband. And the thing that kicked it all off was that's the coat of arms.
Day by day. You posted it, how you do it.
Day by day.
Thank you very much.
So,
Chrissie, and super. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go.
Thank you very much for sharing. They're very beautiful. I know I follow you all the time. So while drawing, and I see your results, and they're very beautiful. They impress me very much. And I see,
thank you.
I'm not a professional one, but I see the growth of your work. So they're really different. So they are yours, and they are very professional. So thank you very much for sharing. And the last question, creativity. Where do you find the inspiration? So, and where can people, so do we need to find for it, or to wait for it, or maybe you need to stimulate it some way?
That's a really good question. You know, where I touched earlier about, I'd shared on Facebook about how I felt like I'd gotten stuck and couldn't break out of what I was doing. Somebody commented on that post and had basically said to me, while you're feeling like this, just start going to classes and watching some tutorials by other people, and start seeing how other people do things. And so to me, I think a lot of growth and learning comes through seeing how other people do stuff. You know, so there's the Zentangle community is probably the most generous community, I think, that I've found online. I know Rick and Maria, who are the founders of Zentangle, offer all of their videos for free on YouTube that you can go and watch and learn how to do things. You know, so I would just say, hop online and have a look at what others are doing. Go to some of the classes. See how other people do things, how we shade something. Someone else may have a complete different twist on that you've just never knew possible or never thought of. So I think that it's to grow, you can't grow alone. I don't think. You really have to be in a community and surrounded by other people. You know, I believe that we're built for that. And the learning from others is just the best way possible, I think, to be able to really grow.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a comment. Thank you for always being so generous with your time, with your sharing your art and highlighting others' work. So thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. So Chrissie, I'm very grateful that you have agreed to come to this
Thank
video.
you so much for having me.
Yes. So for sharing your feelings, your true feelings, and sharing your art. So my friends, I am very grateful to all of you for coming to our live stream and to chatting with us a little bit. So thank you for your hearts. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chrissie, so I hope. So I have got a lot of more questions and I can't ask them because it's rather long, and I want our followers could watch these videos to the end. So maybe one day we will see and talk about creativity more. So thank you very much.
Yes, that would be lovely.
See you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Love your art. Thanks for sharing with us. Nice to see you. So thank you, friends.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.